დილამ შვიდობის მოგესალმებით ყველას. დიდი მადლობა მობრძანებისთვის. Good morning. Thank you for everybody for coming. I'm really very happy. And today also the weather is very nice. I think that it's also supporting us. მე მგონი ამინდის ხელს გვიწყობს და ყველაფერი ერთად, რომ დღეს შევიკრიბეთ აქ. I would like to tell you several words about this project. In 2011, when Kankha-Bandukidze came to this university, he started to build this university not only for the renovation, but only, of course, the education system. And we have meetings during the all day and sometimes the all the night. And he was talking about new ideas, and one of them was the idea about the structural doctoral program. I must tell you honestly that not so many people will have a clear idea what does it mean, the structural program. And nowadays we are very proud that we have the structural doctoral program, and unfortunately that he is not alive, but in my heart I always think that he hear what we are doing and he can feel it. And once more I would like to underline the great support from Angelika Plöger and Professor Angelika Plöger as Professor Hartmut Vochtmann, also our team, our Vice Rector Natia Samushia, Vice Rector Marina Karchava, our Rector Vakhtang Leshava, Nato Kombakhidze, our coordinator of PhD schools, Georgi Khambashidze, and whole team and who worked on this project. Of course, I would tell you, Anastasia, thank you to you to support this project and with your ideas and push it. Also, I would tell you one secret, that it's also very symbolic that today is Anastasia's birthday. And please applaud to her. Happy birthday to you, my dear. I will tell you several words now in Georgian, briefly, sorry. 2011 წელს, როდესაც ბატონი კახა-ბენდუქიძე მოვიდა ამ უნივერსიტეტში, არა მარტო სარემონტო სამუშაოები მიმდინარეობდა სასწავლო პროგრამების მთლიანად ახალი აწყობა, აშენება, ჩვენ ქონდა შეხვედრები მთელი დღეების და ხანდახან მთელი ღამეების განმავლობაში. ძალიან ბევრი რამ ვისწავლეთ მაშინ და გავიგეთ. Იქ ლაპარაკობდა სტრუქტურულ სადოქტორო პროგრამაზე. გულწრფელად რომ გითხრათ 2011 წელს ძალიან ბევრი მე ჩემ თავზე მოვა პირველ რიგში, კარგად ვერ ხვდებოდი რა იყო ეს სტრუქტურული პროგრამა. და დღეს გვაქვს უკვე ეს პირველი სადოქტორო სტრუქტურული პროგრამა, რომელიც დღეს გვაქვს გახსნა და ძალიან ამაყივა რომ ეს პროგრამა შედგა და კეთდება ჩვენს უნივერსიტეტში აგრარული მიმართულებით. მე მინდა აუცილებლად გამოვყო და მე ძალიან გულიმწყდება რომ ბატონი კახა დღეს ვერ მოესწრო ამას, მაგრამ მე ყოველთვის მაქვს ისეთი შეგრძნება რომ ხედავს და გძნობს. აი სულ რაღაც რომ მიხარია ხოლმე, სულ მინდა რომ გაუზიარო მას და სულ მგონია რომ გძნობს. ძალიან სიმბოლურია რომ დღევანდელ დღეს არის ნასტიას დაბადების დღე და კიდე ერთხელ ულოცავ და მას ყველაფერს საუკეთესოს ვუსურვებ. არ შემიძლია არ გამოვყო იმ ადამიანების წვლილი, ვინც ძალიან ბევრი იშრომა ამ პროექტისთვის, პროფესორმა პლოგერმა, პროფესორმა ფოხტმანმა, ქალბატონმა ნათია სამუშიამ, ქალბატონმა მარინა ქარჩავამ, ნატო კობახიძემ, ბატონმა ვატო ლეჟავამ, პირადად ანასტასიამ, გიორგი ხამბაშიძემ და ყველამ. რა ვიცი, ერთად შევძელით და გვაქვს დღეს პირველი სტრუქტურული პროგრამა. რაც თავისთავად ძალიან საინტერესოა, იმიტომ რომ შეიქმნა ძალიან კარგი ოჯახი, რომლებსაც სხვადასხვა კლასტერებია მართალია, მაგრამ იდეა ერთია, მდგრადი სოფლის მეურნეობა და მე დარწმუნებული ვარ, ამას კიდე ძალიან კარგი მომავალი ექნებათ. აგრონომიულ ენაზე რო ვთქვათ, ძალიან კარგ მოსავალს ავიღებთ. Now I will turn to English. I will tell you that I would like to tell you that we have 10 PhD students now. We have the biggest competition, and finally we have 10 the best students. And what's important that they really would like to do their job, not only for example, for the mother or for the father or for the husband or I don't know somewhere. However, it's sometimes in Georgia it's typical, but they really would like to do this great job. We know, you know, that we have 4 clusters, and they are in the different groups, but they are member of the one big family. Also, they have very nice advisors from the Georgian side, also from German side. And finally, my background is agronomy. I will tell you that I'm sure that we will have fantastic harvest. I'm sure, because everybody will try to do their best. So once more, thank you for everybody who is here and also who is not here. Our rector, Vakhtang Lezhava, he wanted to participate, but unfortunately he is abroad now, and he did his best for this project. Also, Natia Samushia, she worked very hard for this project, but now we have authorization process, and she is working. She is working 24 hours for this, and unfortunately she isn't now here. And to everybody, because everybody who are sitting here put, how to say, effort. Thank you. Yes. And we built this project. Thank you, and I wish to everybody great success. კიდე ერთხელ მოკლედ რო გითხრათ, ძალიან დიდი მადლობა თქვენ ყველას, ვინც აქ ბრძანდებით, ყველას დიდი წვლილი გაქვთ შეტანილი ამ პროექტში. მე არ შემიძლია არ გამოვყო ბატონი ვახტანგ ლეჟავა, რომელიც დღეს აქ არ ბრძანდება, იმიტომ რომ საზღვარგარეთ არის. მისი როლი ამ პროექტში, ქალბატონი ნათია სამუშიასი, რომელიც ეხლა აქ არ არის, იმიტომ რომ ავტორიზაციის საბუთებთან დაკავშირებით მუშაობს, მე მგონი 24 საათიან რეჟიმში. მას ძალიან გული და სულით უნდა და პრაქტიკულად სადღაც აქ არის. ჩვენ ვერ ვხედავთ უბრალოდ და ყველა თქვენგანს, რომელმაც ძალიან დიდი წვლილი შეიტანეთ ამ პროექტში. თქვენ რომ არ ყოფილიყავით, ცხადია ეს პროექტი არ იქნებოდა. მე დარწმუნებული ვარ, რომ ძალიან წარმატებული და ძალიან კარგი პროექტი გვექნება. კიდე ერთხელ დიდი მადლობა ყველას. ეხლა მინდა ვთხოვ ქალბატონ ანასტასია ბენდუქიძეს გვითხრას ორიოდე სიტყვა ამ პროექტის შესახებ და თავისი ემოციების შესახებ. Please, I would like now to tell to Anastasia Bentukidze. Please, Anastasia.
Thank you very much. Theo, you've said everything that I was supposed to say, but I hope that there's still a few words left. I remember when it was March 2017, and we were visiting Germany, we were visiting Karlsruhe University, and also Berlin with Professor Plugger and Professor Voigtmann, and it was just, this project was just an idea. And now this is the inauguration ceremony, which is the start of this amazing project, and it seems like such a long time ago, but also not so short, not so long ago at all, because a lot of hard work has been put into this project. A lot of effort, a lot of love, I would say, because you have to love what you do, and I can see it in so many of our students and so many of our professors who contributed to this. And you know, I think this program is an exceptional program because it's first of its kind, and we're very happy and glad that we are pioneers in this sphere and that we are pioneers in this structural doctoral program, and we're able to provide our students with such an amazing experience and opportunity. We are what we eat, and therefore this project has has high value and importance in this day and age, because Georgia is developing rapidly. Actually, today Georgia was put on number 6 in doing business in the world, which is a great achievement for this country, considering all things that have happened in the last 20 years or so. And you know, Georgia is becoming the place where people are coming, place where people are moving. It's a place for tourism. So this program will provide a very valuable input for the development of Georgia as a country, and in all spheres connected. So I would just like to say thank you very much. There's a long day ahead, so I'm not going to say a lot. So thank you very much for all of you for your contribution, and it really means a lot to us. And I'm sure that, like Theo said, my father can definitely see this, and he's very happy that this is a dream come true, quite literally. So thank you.
Thank you. ბატონ გელას მინდა ვთხოვო ხანიშვლის სოფლის საქართველოს გარემოს დაცვის და სოფლის მეურნეობის მინისტრის მოადგილეს 2-20 სიტყვა გთხოვთ ბატონ გელა.
მოგესალმებით. სამწუხაროდ მე არ ვფრობ ინგლისურ ენას, ამიტომ მოგვიწევს თარჯიმნის მეშვეობით და ქალბატონ თეოს ვთხოვთ რომ დაგვეხმაროს. მე მინდა ვთქვა რომ დღევანდელი დღე ალბათ საქართველოს განათლების სისტემაში აღიარებული იქნება დღეთ, რომელმაც ეპოქალურ ცვლილებებს დაუდო სათავე. თარგმნი თუ როგორ გავუმეტ?
I will try. He is very proud and he is thinking that this day will be the epochal changes in the education system.
ბატონ კახა ბენდუქიძე ამ უმაღლესი სასწავლებლის შექმნით და არა მარტო ამ სასწავლებლის შექმნით, არამედ ძალიან ბევრი იმ ნაბიჯით, რომელიც მან გადადგა მის სიცოცხლეში, რეალურად ქართულ ეკონომიკას ასევე მისცა ის სტიმული და ის ხედვა, რომელიც ეპოქალური იყო თავის დროზე იმ პერიოდისთვის და ეპოქალური იქნება მთელი საქართველოს ისტორიის მანძილზე.
In reality, Kaha Bendukidze built this, how to say, new system in an education system. Of course, this university and also many economical and also changes what he made. It's epochal and also we understanding, but he is thinking that after the time also they will be the great and actual for not for our people but of course all the world.
დღევანდელი დღე უპირველეს ყოვლისა ნიშნულოვანია იმ 10 ადამიანისთვის, რომელიც იწყებს დღევანდელი დღით ახალ ეპოქას ქართულ მეცნიერებაში.
Today, it's of course very important today for the 10 persons who are starting this new education program.
საქართველოს სოფლის მეურნეობას აქვს ძალიან ბევრი პრობლემა, მაგრამ ერთ-ერთი ფუნდამენტური პრობლემა ეს არის განათლების და კვალიფიციური კადრების არარსებობა.
Georgian agriculture has many problems, but main is this education problem and people who are trained in this sphere. Lack of knowledge.
ეს პრობლემა შეიგრძნობა არა მარტო ისეთ მეცნიერულ დონეზე, რომელზედაც სასწავლებელი წარმოადგენს, არამედ ჩვეულებრივ ყოფით თითოეული ფერმერის დონეზე, თითოეული სპეციალისტის დონეზე.
This problem is not only for example here, but also when you are in touch with the farmers, because the lack of knowledge is the biggest problem in agriculture of Georgia.
საქართველოს ხვალინდელი დღის სოფლის მეურნეობის შექმნა სათანადო ცოდნის, სათანადო განათლების გარეშე უბრალოდ წარმოუდგენელია. საოცარი ტემპებით ვითარდება მოთხოვნა იმ ცოდნაზე, რომელსაც მსოფლიო გვაძლევს, მაგრამ საქართველოში სამწუხაროდ ჯერჯერობით ეს ყველაფერი არ არის.
This is the biggest demand in this sphere, in agriculture sphere, and it's impossible to achieve the goals without the education.
ტექნოლოგიები, რომელიც უნდა დაინერგოს ქართულ სოფლის მეურნეობაში, თხოვლობს შესაბამის კადრებს, შესაბამის ცოდნას, რომ ეს ტექნოლოგიები ეფექტურად იქნეს გამოყენებული.
New technologies which must be implemented in agriculture sphere, it needs the knowledge and it needs the experience in this agriculture education.
ქვეყნის შესაძლებლობები სოფლის განვითარების თვალსაზრისით არის უსაზღვროდ მეტი ვიდრე დღევანდელი რეალობა, რომელშიც იმყოფებით თითოეული ჩვენგანი.
Our country have the big potential and we try to do our best to use it.
მე მინდა ძალიან დიდი მადლობა უთხრა თითოეული ადამიანს, რომელიც დასახელებული იყო ქალბატონ თეოს გამოსვლაში, რომელთაც ძალიან დიდი წვლილი შეაქვთ სწორედ საქართველოს ხვალინდელი დღის შექმნაში.
He wanted to tell the special thanks to whole people which I mentioned before, to everybody, which are giving the big help me Anastasia, contribution in education system. Thank you.
გილოცავთ დღევანდელ დღეს და გისურვებთ წარმატებებს.
He congratulate today and thank you and wish all the best. დიდი მადლობა ბატონო გელა. მისე მინდა გითხრათ ჩემ პრემიერაც არის, ასე მე არ მითარგმნია პირდაპირ ცხოვრებაში, თან ესეთი მნიშვნელოვანი სიტყვები დავიძაბერო. იმიტომ რომ მე არასდროს სიტყვაზე წინასწარ არ ვფიქრობ. რო ვდგები ხოლმე პირდაპირ მაშინ ვლაპარაკობ რისით ხმასვინა ნებისმიერ შემთხვევაში. ეხლა მინდა ვთხოვო სიტყვა ბატონ ზვიად გამისონიას, შოთა რუსთაველის სამეცნიერო ფონდის დირექტორს.
მადლობა. თეო ისე მშვენივრად თარგმნიდა, რომ მე მინდა ვთხოვო, რომ გააგრძელოს. ეს შესანიშნავი პრაქტიკული გამოცდილება. პირველ რიგში მოგესალმებით ყველას, განსაკუთრებით პატივისცემითა და სიყვარულით მინდა მივესალმო ჩვენს გერმანელ კოლეგებს. ჩემთვის გერმანია საკმაოდ ახლობელია და განსაკუთრებულ სითბოს განვიცდი, როცა გერმანელ კოლეგებთან მაქვს ურთიერთობა.
He liked how I went the trouble and how I was translating, and he wants that I will go on it. So he would like to tell you to everybody hello, and he would like to tell you everybody thank you, and especially he would like to mention our guest from Germany, because for him, and I fully agree with him, for him the Germany is in his heart. This is very close for him, and he would like to tell you special thank you.
რაც შეეხება კასელის უნივერსიტეტთან თანამშრომლობას, ჩვენ ვფიქრობთ, რომ პირველ რიგში მინდა მიულოცო აგრარულ უნივერსიტეტს ესეთი გარღვევა ამ მიმართულებით და ვფიქრობთ, რომ ეს თანამშრომლობა კიდევ უფრო გაღრმავდება მომავალ წელს და შემდეგ წლებში.
He would like, of course, to mention our cooperation with the Kassel University, and he thinks that it will be more and more deeper, and he fully support our relationship with your university.
როგორც ბატონმა გელამ აღნიშნა, საქართველოს იცით რომ აგრარული ქვეყანაა და ამ მიმართულებით ძალიან ბევრი რამ აქვს საქართველოს გასაკეთებელი, განსაკუთრებით აგრარული ტექნოლოგიების განვითარების მხრივ.
You know that the Georgian is agrarian country, and we need to do our best to have these new innovations in this field.
ტექნოლოგიები კი მოითხოვს შესაბამის განათლებას.
And new technologies, of course, need education.
როგორც იცით, რუსთაველის ფონდი, რუსთაველის სამეცნიერო ფონდი გახლავთ ერთადერთი ყველაზე მოცულობით დიდი სახელმწიფო ფონდი, რომელიც მუშაობს სამეცნიერო კვლევების დაფინანსებაზე ქვეყანაში და
As you know, the Rustaveli Foundation is working and funding the scientific projects and innovations.
და ჩვენ ვფიქრობთ, რომ მომავალი წლისთვის როდესაც მუშაობთ ახალ პრიორიტეტებზე და ახალ სტრატეგიაზე, ერთ-ერთი პრიორიტეტული მიმართულება უნდა იყოს აგრარული ტექნოლოგიების განვითარება.
And now that we are thinking what to do in the future, we think that the next year will be the priorities, this direction.
ამიტომაც მდგრადი სოფლის მეურნეობისა და სასურსათო სისტემების სტრუქტურული სადოქტორო პროგრამა ჩვენთვის ძალიან მნიშვნელოვანია.
That's why the Sustainable Agriculture and Food System structural program is very important for us.
განსაკუთრებული მადლობა მინდა უთხრა ჩვენს გერმანელ კოლეგებს Volkswagen-ის ფონდიდან.
I would like to underline the thanks for the Volkswagen Foundation from Germany.
ჩვენ ვფიქრობთ, რომ მომავალ წელს საშუალება გვექნება უშუალოდ გავიცნოთ Volkswagen-ის წარმომადგენლები და უფრო მეტ ერთობლივ პროექტზე ვესაუბროთ მათ.
We think that next year we will have a chance to meet them and to have this collaboration deeply, to have the meeting face to face.
მათ შორის მაღალი ხარისხის სადოქტორო პროგრამების შემდგომ ერთობლივ დაფინანსებაზე.
And of course the high quality PhD program for the next year.
მინდა მივესალმო და მიულოცო 10-ვე გამარჯვებულ დოქტორანტს.
I would like to congratulate to these 10 PhD students who are finally in this group.
საქართველოს სახელით შეგვიძლია გითხრათ, რომ ჩვენ თქვენი ძალიან ვამაყობთ და ძალიან დიდი იმედებს ვამყარებთ თქვენზე, როგორც მომავალ თაობაზე.
He would like to say from the Georgian side that he is very proud and he thinks that you will do your best and we will be proud of your success.
გერმანელ კოლეგებს კი მინდა უთხრა, რომ თქვენ ნამდვილად იამაყებთ სადოქტორო პროგრამის დასრულების შემდეგ ჩვენი სტუდენტებით.
And he would like to promise from German side that he is sure that you will be proud from our PhD students and from this.
კიდევ ერთხელ დიდი მადლობა, წარმატებებს გისურვებთ.
Once more, thank you, and he wish all the best. Now I would like to tell only several words before we start a small video. I would like add several words about Professor Gabisonia's words that we have very close relationship with this Kassel University, and I cannot mention these two persons who are sitting here who started with Professor Vogtmann and Professor Plöger. It started in 2001 when Professor Vogtmann, our famous professor, was president of BFN from Germany. And he started this cooperation with my dear father, Gizo Urushadze. That time he was vice rector of this university. And that time nobody believes that it will be. It was not so nice building, and they started step by step. First, they established a division of ecological agriculture, organic agriculture, and that time nobody has the clear idea what does it mean, because we have the titles like this, ecological free windows, like this. And then also they financed this lab, ecological agriculture and nature science, then we did the project with the compost in Marneuli. So we have very close cooperation, and also I studied there in Germany in this university, and also I'm very proud. And I think that also this project will be very successful cooperation, and I'm sure that it, of course, will be very successful. I will tell them several words in Georgia, but on ზვიადის ნათქვამს დავამატე, არ შემეძლო არ მეთქვა, ჩვენ ეს ურთიერთობა დავიწყეთ 2001 წელს, როდესაც ბატონი ფოხტმანი იყო გერმანიის ფედერალური სააგენტოს პრეზიდენტი და ჩამოვიდა პირველად საქართველოში. მაშინ ჩემი ძვირფას მამა, მარცხნივზის გიზო ურუშაძე იყო აგრარული უნივერსიტეტის პრორექტორი. და ამათმა დაიწყეს ეს ურთიერთობა. ეს რა დროა იცით რომ ორგანული სოფლის მეურნეობა კი არა, საერთოდ ტყეში რო ვართ. აი ხა არ მინდოდა ფლასესემე თქვა ინგლისურად. აი წარწერებს რო აკეთებდნენ, ეს ეკოლოგიური კარფანჯარა, აზოტის სასუქს ეწერა, წარმოიდგინეთ ორგანული სასუქო წარმოიდგინეთ, სატყეში ვიყავით. ეს კაცი რბილად რო თქვა ჩოქში ჩავარდა მაშინ. და მაშინ ამათმა დაიწყეს, აქ იყო სულ ყველაფერი დანგრეული. ხა მერიდება კიდე ეს მაგალითები მოყურებიც ამათმა გააკეთეს და იმიტომ რომ დაიჯერეს ჩვენი ყველასი, რომ აქ შესაძლებელია რაღაც გაკეთდეს. ამათმა პირველად გააკეთეს ორგანული სოფლის მეურნეობის განყოფილება. აი ეს ის დროა მართლა რასთან ერთად იჭევოდა ბიურო ხალხმა არ იცოდა, ეს განყოფილება მერე გაიხსნა ლაბორატორია ეკოლოგიური სოფლის მეურნეობის და ბუნების დაცვის. მერე გავაკეთეთ ერთობლივი კომპოსტის პროექტი, რომელიც მართლა ძალიან ამაყები ვართ, იმიტომ რომ პირველი საწარმოა კავკასიაში ორგანული ნარჩენიდან კომპოსტს რო უშვებს, სრულიად ამათი ტექნოლოგია იყო და სრულიად უფასოდ გადმოსცეს ჩვენ ქვეყანას და ვიცენჰაუზენში რაც არის ესეთი საწარმო აშენდა. კიდე კაი ამას ბატონი კახა მოესწრო და მაშინ ძალიან ამაყობდა ყველაფერი ამით და შემდეგ მე თვითონ სწავლობდი გერმანიაში, ამით ძალიან ამაყი ვარ და ჩემთვისაც გერმანია ძალიან მშობლიური ქვეყანა და დღეს გვაქვს ეს სადოქტორო პროგრამა, რაშიც დარწმუნებული ვარ, რომ ძალიან წარმატებული იქნება და ჩვენ ყველანი ერთად გავაკეთებთ ყველაფერს, რომ ეს პროგრამა შედგეს და იყოს ძალიან კარგი. ეს ისე მოკლედ ჩართვა გავაკეთე და გურული ვარ, მაინც არ ვექვემდებარებ იმას პროტოკოლს.
Sie haben alles verstanden, ja?
They always understand.
Since 2002, the Faculty of Organic Agricultural Sciences, University of Kassel, and the School of Agricultural and Natural Sciences of Agricultural University of Georgia have cooperated to enhance the scientific research and practical applications to sustain the diversity of regional food culture, organic agriculture, and nature conservation.
After a long experience with our partner here in Georgia, we established a research project about structural PhD program.
It's a doctoral program for a sustainable agriculture and food system.
Within the framework of this bilateral research partnership and Memorandum of Understanding, There are successful research projects, study programs, and educational exchange activities. From 2017, both universities initiated to establish a long-term structured graduate program called Sustainable Agricultural and Food Systems Structure Doctoral Program to deepen and integrate learning and research about real-world and complex issues in agricultural and food systems. Especially, this graduate program aims to enhance your engagement in research activities in the South Caucasian region based on international standards. Through knowledge building and developing intertransdisciplinary research studies in agriculture and food systems, the SAFS project will contribute directly to sustainable development goals, especially ending hunger, achieving food security, and promoting sustainable agriculture, as well as ensuring inclusive and equitable education. Volkswagen Foundation in Germany and Rustaveli Foundation in Georgia financed this joint project until the end of January 2022.
Special thanks to Rami. He made this video. It's really very nice. Now I would like to tell to my dear Professor Angelika Ploger.
So, I hope this micro works, yes? Okay. Dear Excellencies, dear colleagues, PhD students, and let's say dear friends as well, because we have been working together for such a long time. I started here, as Theo told already, in 2002. And I was here in the same room, but the room looks quite differently. So you couldn't imagine how it really improves here. And it's not only the rooms and the colors in the room, but it's also the openness of mind, the change in language. So when we started, it was the scientific language was Russian, not English for us. So we had a hard time to find people really to talk to us in English. And then when your father took over, of course it was clear for him that also it has to change the language, the scientific language, to English. So he was asking everybody, every teacher, to apply once more for their job and telling him why it's important that he or she will stay here and educate the young generation. And I'm really proud to be here and to stay here, not because of all the history, but because of the success you can really see and feel when you are here once more after 16 years. So therefore, I'm really proud to introduce to you the common project, and I have to admit that also our president of our university was very impressed when the ladies came, and I have to state, Marina, and so we were 4 ladies here from this university, and myself, we went to our president at the Kassel University, and he said, "Oh, there I have all responsible positions?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Oh, I think we have to change that in Germany as well." When I took over, me personally, I took over a professorship 30 years ago. Only 3% of the professors were female professors. Now I think we make it now until last year 10%. But in Germany, you will not find such powerful people at university being women. And I'm really thankful for that today. Also, the dean of our faculty is here, Professor Backes, so he is also representing our university and the Faculty for Organic Agricultural Sciences. So this new project will bind us, our universities, for another 4 years. So we will finish this project hopefully in January 2022. And up to then we have a lot of work to do, but nevertheless I think we can do it, because yesterday I got the impression, I saw the PhD students the first time, and I got the impression that you all are very interested, that you are really very thankful to address the problems in agriculture and in the food system, and also that you are heavily supported by the supervisors you have been chosen so far. So the abbreviation of this project is, let's say it, next one? No? Oh. The abbreviation of this program is SAFS. So this stands for Sustainable Agriculture and Food System Program, and it's a structured program on the level of PhD education. And as you can see, the basic of this education should be the sustainability goals. And here under sustainability goal number 4, you can see that we should support also higher education. And we all, I think, we are working in the field of sustainability goal number 12. It's about sustainable production and consumption. And I think each student has had the opportunity to look how her or his PhD topic would fit into these sustainability goals. And I think we will also have some thesis or some research done in the area of climate change or clean water. So we are not only addressing 1 or 2 sustainability goals, but we will address a lot of them. And the students should always think how to include their research into these goals, or take the goals as basis for their research. And the next slide will show you what we would like to do with this SAFS program. So first of all, we would like to connect graduates from different disciplines and to make them deepen in their own field, but also we would like to that they look, what is that? That they look also to the other disciplines. For instance, yesterday we discussed it's not only to look for different varieties, for instance, in apple production, but also to take the consumers into account as well. What do they expect from different and new varieties? So it's also working with not only in the field of natural science, but also in the field probably for social sciences. The next topic is that we would like to promote the trans and interdisciplinary education and also the networking. So also the exchange, for instance, with students from our side, and and to see what is possible also in other countries. And to transfer the scientific results back to society. This is one of the bases of transdisciplinary research. So to take up problems which occur in practical agriculture, and then doing research on this topic and feeding back the results to society. And to enhance, of course, the mobility. So each person or each PhD person in this program is invited to come to Kassel, or to even other places in Germany, so the travel costs will be paid, and also the stay there. And we would like to have really an exchange of ideas and an exchange of person. Then we would have, of course, this is something industry is more interested in. We would like to increase the employability for our PhD students. So in Germany, you will find a lot of PhD students. So we at Kassel University or at our faculty, we have between 20 and 30 PhD finishing each year. And the question is, where do they go to? Because the positions in science or in universities, they are limited. And of course, they have to look for an employment in industry. And for this employment, they have to be educated. They have to know what industry wants. And this is something very special. I learned yesterday that most of you are already working in industry and working for companies. So you know what industry wants. This is quite a big difference between you as PhD students here in Georgia and our PhD students at our faculty. And of course, we would like also to open the idea of a structured doctoral program also to other states in the Caucasus region. Probably you have heard that we started the program, but it was not possible without our colleagues here and the ideas they brought to us. And also at our university, it's not only the Faculty for Organic Agricultural Sciences, but also we have a faculty for basic science, for biology, for instance, and we have some other institutions linked to the University of Kassel. And we are offering a curriculum here together with this university for you, for the PhD students coming from Georgia. By the way, we have also one PhD student being financed in Germany, that is Rami, who made the video. And we got a postdoc position as a coordinator for this project. This is Cecira. He is the coordinator from Kassel University and also supporting here the staff. So for the PhD courses here, we have 6 obligatory courses and 4 elective courses. And these, there are new topics included, for instance, like citizen science. That means really to include also the perspective of people into science, what is a problem, and how to solve this problem together with not only working in an ivory tower, but together with the people. The topic of circular economy will be, the topic of circular economy will also be important, and you had already a lecture for SDGs, what does it mean? And if you are working in a transdisciplinary way, of course, you need to have also some more ideas about methodologies and linking methodologies. We at Kassel University have also a graduation center, and they are teaching so-called soft skills. So here our PhD students learn how to present themselves, how to transfer the knowledge they get from research to the society back. So they offered us to open their modules, and we can put it also on our platform we already established. So we have also an element of e-learning or blended learning within our educational program. And they are also offering entrepreneur skills. That is important if you want to have your own startup, for instance, or you want to be linked to more people from business. And therefore, they are offering also academic to business modules. Then we have our International Center for Development and Decent Work, it's called ICDD. And they are offering, for instance, political economy as a module, or labor policy and globalization, because agriculture and food is today globalized, unfortunately. And how to link our national policy and also the international to take into account, that is something the ICDD is offering. And the next is our former German center for, it was for subtropical and tropical agriculture. And now they are also working transdisciplinary, also for land use systems. And they would like to offer us the topics of social ecology, local knowledge, and of course, for instance, if you are more interested in the organic area, they are offering quality management and certification of organic produce. So all these modules you as PhD student can take. You are invited by, and it's not only our faculty, it's really the whole university, and therefore it was great that we have been there at the president's office, and the president was supporting us and the idea, and that we are working together. So I'm truly convinced that with the research you are doing during the next 3 years, you will really benefit, be beneficial for our society. For instance, getting the productivity in the region, so added value for the region. We will have an input on the topic of food security. We will have environmental protection. Also, we will support the vital growing of the society and also the social empowerment. As already Theo pointed out, we try to structure this program in the way that we think we have 4 areas of research. And these 4 areas are first sustainable agriculture and food technology innovations. So some of you are feeling in connection with that. Others said climate change and impact on agriculture and agroforestry systems, for instance. Then biodiversity, nature conservation and resource management. And the fourth is true cost of production. We have been discussing yesterday about the terminology of true cost. So what does it mean, not only how much cost an apple, but what is behind the apple, and with how much energy we have to put in, and what is about pollution with pesticides of the water and cleaning this water and so on. So we have a lot of areas to take care of, and therefore we have to work in an inter or transdisciplinary way. To structure it a bit also from the administrative side and from the side that people should work together, so networking, we try to say there is a cluster meeting. There is a cluster meeting once a month. And you are coming together, working on the same topic, so let's say climate change or something like that, and you are discussing your efforts you did during the last months, and to exchange ideas and also problems, how can I solve this and that and so on. And between the once a month meeting, we will have meetings probably once a week that are called brown bag seminars. So this comes from, I would say, US, where you carry your own lunch with you in a brown bag, so in a paper bag, and you are sitting there eating and also discussing your problems. Yesterday we had a brown bag seminar, but we had a meal before in a nice area. So this is how you want to do it, but it's just an expression. And the topic behind is that you come into contact, that you're not feeling alone, because in Germany you sometimes have the feeling that PhD are working, and they are more or less isolated, and they feel, oh, I can't finish this, and how can I deal with that problem, and so on. So we really want to get you together. And then we have once a year a joint cluster workshop. That means all the clusters are coming together with their supervisors, and they are discussing about the progress. And also another topic is you all decided to get your PhD with papers for instance, 3 papers for finishing your PhD. And this cluster workshop once a year should also encourage you to publish. And you will give also presentation to the other persons or the other members. And the next will be after 3 years, when you hopefully really finished your research or are before just finishing the research, there will be a 5-day meeting, probably at your training center. And so we will have then a whole meeting with our supervisors from Kassel University, from Georgian University. We'll have also, if there are companies involved in your research, we will invite the companies as well. And we will have then, let's say, a closing event. Yeah. So, because we all invite you also to have an exchange with us, with the University of Kassel, I just want to briefly show you 2 slides. The Faculty of Organic Agricultural Sciences is a faculty with 20 professorships. External funds, so third-party money for research, is nearly 7 million euros. It was in 2017. And we have an organic research farm, 340 hectares. We have greenhouses for tropical and subtropical and normal, our weather for research topics. And we have, of course, laboratories. Each professor has 1 or 2 or even 3 laboratories and may probably also help you if you have some problems with analyzing your topic. And studying in Witzenhausen, Witzenhausen is the smallest university town in Germany because it just is for the faculty for organic agricultural sciences. But Uni Kassel is a big university. It has about 20,000 students. It's located in the city of Kassel. We as agricultural faculty are located outside the Kassel University, but near to Göttingen University, and Göttingen University also has an agricultural faculty, and we are also working together in some areas of teaching, and we have Sustainable International Agriculture as a master program totally in English taught, so if you want to have also more inputs from the discipline, you can have that as well in Kassel and together with Göttingen. So we have low costs of living. I think Theo can tell that because she has been there several times. And we have an international atmosphere. So feel invited to come to us, and I'm really convinced that you have a great atmosphere between the PhD students and also a good connection to the supervisors. So keep that in mind. You can reach the goal. Thank you. Hardy?
Now
it's your time.
It's your time. My dear Professor Voigtman.
Yes, first of all, congratulations to everybody who has been working so hard for the success. I mean, it was a vision, became an idea, and was a lot of hard work to make it reality, like it's today. So all the people involved have been working hard, and I think at the end of the project, we will be always very proud. And thinking back of the first time I came here in 2001, and looking at the university now, one has to say, at that time, everyone was in black clothes.
May I translate, please?
Yes.
That's important. You see, I am now asking to translate it.
But you have to translate, not to interpret.
I will try. ეხლა თარგმნიო ინტერპრეტაციებს თავიდანებებ. არ შემჩნეული ვარ, არ ვემორჩილები, ხო? უნდა რომ თავისი ემოციები მოყვეს ამ ჩვენი უნივერსიტეტის შესახებ და ეხლა ყვება იმას 2001-ში რომ პირველად რომ ჩამოვიდა ჩვენს ქვეყანაში და მოვიდა უნივერსიტეტში. და ყველას ხო, მადლობა. და პირველი რაც იყო, მადლობა გამორჩა, ყველას ეცვა შავებიო.
And the building looked terrible. I mean, from at that point,
შენობა იყო რბილად რო თქვა
you wouldn't think it
საშინელება.
was a university, actually. And coming now, what you see is open space. That means freedom.
პირველი რომ შემოდიხარო, ხედავო გაშლილ სივრცესო, რაც თავისუფლების სიმბოლოა.
You see colors, that means vision.
ხედავ ფერებსო, რაც ხედვას ნიშნავსო.
And you see a lot of young people, that means hope for the future of your lovely country.
და ხედავ ბევრ ახალგაზრდას, რომლებიც არიან ჩვენი ქვეყნის მომავალი.
But there's still a lot of work to do. And in Kassel, we have the most famous nature mountain park in the city. And on top of this, there is a symbol. There's Hercules carrying the planet Earth on his back.
ამათ ქალაქში, კასელში არის ძალიან ლამაზი პარკი და რომლის წვერზეც არის ძალიან ცნობილი ჰერკულესის ქანდაკება. ეს არის ქალაქის სიმბოლო.
And this symbol I would like to give to you because we still have a lot to do to keep this planet alive. Because at present, what we all do is ruining our planet. And what this project should do, help to save our planet.
და მე მინდა ეს საჩუქარი, სიმბოლური საჩუქარი გადავცე ჩვენ სტუმრებსო, რომ მათაც
Okay, because we still იმიტომ რომ ბევრი უნდა ვიშრომოთ და კიდევ
იმისთვის რომ I'm trying to tell you simultaneous translation იმისთვის რომ პლანეტა გადაარჩინო, გაიხარე ლეო. მარტივად.
Because I mean, just to tell you, you probably know this joke when two planets are meeting. And the one says to the other planet, "How are you?" Oh, he says, "I'm fine, no problem." And the other one, "Oh, I do have a serious problem." What is your problem? Human beings. And the other planet says, "Oh, just wait a little while. They will ruin themselves, so this problem will be solved by them."
ორი პლანეტა შეხვდა ერთმანეთს, ერთი ეკითხება მეორეს, როგორ ახლა ერთი კარგად არის, მეორეს პრობლემები აქვს და რაშიაო პრობლემაო და მეო ადამიანები მყავსო. ეგ არ არისო პრობლემა, ერთმანეთს დაჭამენ და მორჩება ეს პრობლემაო.
So this work at your university will help to maintain our planet, and that means a lot of work which you have to carry, and that's why I'm giving to you this Hercules, because it's a Hercules job we have to do, but I'm sure we will solve it. And first of all, it's for you, because you have helped us so much to carry the work to save this planet, and it's for your birthday. Yeah, but it's your birthday, and I thought everybody would go to sing now this famous happy birthday to you, which I won't. I will sing a little German song for you now for your birthday. Very short. Which will say to you, happiness for you on all your ways, and also a lot of enjoyment. And the song goes like this. Viel Glück und viel Segen auf all deinen Wegen, Gesundheit und Frohsinn sei auch mit dabei. And also the political side has to do a lot of work and to help us to carry saving this planet. Thank you very much. And your foundation, I think, is the basis. Without you, we wouldn't have been able to do it. So I know that you are helping to save this planet for the benefit of your country of Georgia. Thank you very much. So thank you all very much for helping.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Now, now we have the break. So now yes, and we will continue then there's a panel discussion. Thank you for everybody. Now we have break.
Ja. ზვიად გასწრაფი.
კი ბატონო, ძალიან დიდი მადლობა გელა. მადლობა დიდი.
ძალიან მადლობა.
ეს ორი ძმაკაცი ანეკდოტია. ეს ხო, აბა.
Well, hello, honorable guests, dear colleagues, dear students, dear friends. We have now an opportunity to center a little bit around various professional views with regard to this special program, the structural program. Because I would like all of the panel members to tell us what they expect from such a program, what kind of advice they can give to this program, and also if we look at the very professional backgrounds, you will immediately see we cover more or less the whole area from field to fork, because we have a representative here from the Farmers Association, Elkana, Miriam Yoyatze. She's a biologist and has 20 years of experience in the field of biological agriculture, ecology, also biodiversity and rural development. So it will be very interesting to hear her view to this point. The second group, we have the scientists here. We have, on my right side, the vice rector of this university, which I think is a very important role here, Marina Kachava, I hope I pronounce it properly. And she actually her background is applied mathematics, so it's very interesting. Applied mathematics, but she's now here teaching operational management, and I think that is a very important background to give advice to our students for their future profession. And Professor Gunther Backes from the University of Kassel, he is actually the dean of the faculty of biological agricultural sciences, and his background he has to do with organic plant breeding and agrobiodiversity. So also a very important aspect. The institutional view, I would say, put it this way, is Dr. Olcay Ünver, I hope I pronounce it properly, from the FAO, and he has to deal with the most important foodstuff in the world, that's water. So he is responsible in the FAO, he is actually the vice chair of the UN Water Management and Land, Water and Soil Resources, and also the Deputy Director of Land and Water Division at the FAO in Rome. The other person could unfortunately not stay from the FAO, and you can immediately see if you walk the borderline between science and politics, you are sometimes immediately asked by the politicians to appear to give them advice, and that happened to him. He was here, but he had to leave because he was called upon his advice. So unfortunately, he will not be on the panel, but we have you here for the FAO, and that I think is very important. We have also here from the institutional part, Thomas Scholl from the German embassy, and I think he's also walking this borderline between politics and factual science, and he will also tell us from his point of view, with a bright experience from the Minister of Foreign Affairs in Germany, what this kind of project could contribute. And last but not least, we have Natalia Guerzitelli. I hope I pronounced this properly also.
Correct. Thank you.
And she now represents Rustavelli Foundation. We had, I think it was your boss we had before here, is that correct? And she is the chief specialist of the science department. So she could also be considered to be among the scientists, but I think also important, a funding organization, and to hear her view, why would a funding organization really fund this kind of a project and what she expects for the future of the young scientists after they have had this program. And I would like to do this in 3 rounds to stick within our timetable. And the first round, I would actually like all of us here to say a little bit about their understanding from their background what sustainability could mean for this kind of program. And I will just say sustainability very simply, the interconnection of 3 pillars, environment, economic and social. That's the interconnection of all of this. And if that doesn't function, it's not sustainable. So I would really like to see how would you see this interconnection, your field of expertise, and how could this be linked to sustainable agriculture and food systems? And I would like to start with you, Miriam, from the farmer side, because without farmers, well, we wouldn't have food.
Thank you very much. Yeah. As it was said, I'm Mariam Georgiadze from Biological Farming Association Elkana. This question, sustainability in Georgian, often not very well translated, dgradoba, which is something that stays like it is. Actually, sustainability in understanding of farmers is to be on the ground, on the soil, to maintain soil, because soil is the life from where they can develop their practices. Our organization started working in the field of organic agriculture in 1996, when after Soviet regimes, farmers that used in Soviet time to be just laborers on in Soviet farms, they lost their traditional knowledge, how to manage farm, how to take care of their farming processes, their soil, their resources, because in Soviet period they were just fulfilling instructions, and this is and there was a kind of gap in sustainability approaches to the farming processes, and these problems are now, our farmers are, because of that, facing lots of problems at farm level. Depleted soils is not giving the harvest they want to have, and also traditional knowledge that they lost often does not give them possibility to work on farm in the way they can have good results in farming processes. In 1996, when we started working with farmers, it was quite difficult to organize them in groups, and they wanted to have very quick results, not thinking about sustainability. And I'm very happy that just a few days ago there was a first meeting of organic farmers in Georgia, farmers that they organized themselves, and we were invited to this meeting, and the main issues they presented there were linked exactly to sustainability of knowledge systems, on farm knowledge systems, sustainability of their livelihoods, which are dependent on this knowledge, and improvement of soil. And this type of attitudes are quite new now in Georgian agriculture. In my point of view, sustainability is this harmony between livelihoods of people in farmlands, in rural areas, possibility of farmers to make their living in that way that makes possibility to preserve those resources that are available now to be available to further generations. And in this respect, organic farming has a crucial role. Organic farming and also with upcoming climate change and problems related to that, we have to bring back some of the lost varieties, traditional varieties. And this is also one of the issues our organization is working at present. Farmers want more farmer-based research on sustainability of their livelihoods.
Well, if I just take this up and ask my colleague Gunter Backes, because he is involved in organic plant breeding, if he sees this as an important part for maintaining sustainability on farmland and agrobiodiversity.
I wouldn't, I'm sorry if I put it a little bit broader now, not only related to agrobiodiversity naturally, and I get the impression that especially this country has a really high treasure of agrobiodiversity, also due to its very different structures, very different landscapes, and there you have, and that is always a good chance to have a very high agrobiodiversity. And I think you should really look at it and also use this biodiversity you can find there. I think there will be countries all over the world which will really which would like to have such a biodiversity which will be found here.
And in the context now to this program, where would you like to see some emphasis put for the students to take this message then into the practice afterwards?
I think it's really to first of all I have to say, you see, I'm quite new to this country. Giving advice when you are quite new to a situation is not only dangerous. I think you should just let it be. I think when you're new to a situation, you should learn and not give advice. So in the way I'm rather in the phase of learning than of giving advice. What I can say is what is important in what had been important for us. And there it is important also to include it had been important to include agrobiodiversity, preserve agrobiodiversity. We had lost a lot of agrobiodiversity during the phases and we had during the industrialization of agriculture in Germany, for example. So it's always easy to lose something and very difficult to get it back. And I think this project could also focus on these treasures you could find in this country. For example, when you look at the apples in some of the projects or some other crops.
We talked about biodiversity, and Miriam talked about the soil, the importance of soil, farmers, but I think foodstuff number one is water. And therefore I would like to see your view, dear colleague Unver, on this, and maybe the link between all these questions, because without water we wouldn't exist.
Thank you. Can everybody hear me?
There's a microphone.
Oh, okay. All right. Yes, first of all, I'm very happy to be here and interacting. Okay, there we go. Very happy to be here interacting, because representing Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, you are the science connection and providing the valuable input that can hopefully turn into policy in organizations like FAO, which are recognized by the international community as policy-making instruments, and then be implemented at the country level, again with the assistance of field offices, of which we have one. Unfortunately, the representative is not here. But this is a dual relationship, so we benefit, and it's also useful that we can tell you what we need. So you can hopefully select your respective research areas. When it comes to sustainability, sustainable food and agriculture systems, FAO looks at 5 pillars. So we move from economic, environment, and social with governance cross-cutting to 5 pillars of sustainability in food and agriculture. One is improved efficiency in the use of the resources, and water resources particularly, but not only. Secondly is to take direct and deliberate action in order to conserve, protect, and hopefully enhance the natural resource base. That's the environmental ecosystems part. And then the third one is protect and improve the rural livelihoods, equity, and social well-being. So there are 3 important elements there. That's the social aspect. Another social aspect that cross-cuts is the enhancement of resilience of people to shocks. These shocks could be disasters, these shocks could be climate, price shocks, etc. So people, communities, and ecosystems against shocks. And last but not the least, this is the cross-cutting element of sustainability, ensure responsible and effective governance mechanisms. So these are the key 5 pillars. When we look at water, we expect, predict that we will need 50% more food by 2050. And in order to produce 50% more food, we cannot do what we did prior with the Green Revolution. So use a lot of fertilizers, chemicals, extend irrigation indefinitely, use special seeds, etc., and intensify production substantially. That we have learned from that, but we cannot repeat that. We have to do it sustainably, and we have to do it with the resource constraints. Our water resources are already under stress. More than half of the world live under water stress at any given time. So we have to use water resources more efficiently, and at the same time provide adequate amounts of water to household use and for industries, including energy production. So what we would expect you to do is to look at all these interconnections and to be able to find out how one optimal decisions for one particular sector impacts other sectors negatively or positively, and have a overall optimal decision making in mind rather than optimizing decisions such as maximizing agricultural production or maximizing energy production, which could have negative impacts on other sectors. So this is how we would encourage intersectoral, interdisciplinary research.
This also means, I mean, agriculture, after all, is the biggest user of water in the world. That would also mean that agriculture has to think about different practices, as you said, use water wisely. So that is a technological question, but I think it's also a social question to get people used to this.
Yes, exactly. There is no technological fix, okay? There is water-saving irrigation technologies. You can improve your water efficiencies. You can improve productivity. But that doesn't mean that you are actually saving water on an overall scale, because in many cases, water savings can go to extending irrigation or intensifying irrigation, and then you end up contributing almost negatively to the competition issues. So technology is one of the components, integral components. The other integral component is the social aspect, how you manage your resources, how you produce and what you produce. And if you produce a certain thing, definitely, or if you can produce less of it and reallocate your resources to something else, maybe to a societal benefit or to an ecological benefit, and then again still maximize the overall benefit you are getting from your decision. So this is the broader decision-making space. And in many cases, governments and organizations and many minds are of silo nature. When they don't see the broader picture, they can actually have the impression that they do a great work in their job, but they contribute negatively to the overall picture. And for this, one usually forgotten element is the individual, who is all of us, who are consumers of water, consumers of food, and not very good ones, custodians of ecosystems, and not necessarily good ones either, but also voters, the elements of democracy who would vote people into office who would make all these decisions. So I don't know if we have anybody from behavioral sciences. For example, engineers do not understand this well enough. Then the discussion should be among multiple sectors and scientists and professionals from these different backgrounds.
Well, this leads us immediately into the question if our so far disciplinary research approach is actually sufficient to deal with all the problems you had just mentioned, to see the interconnection, to the relation, to the influence on other areas. From what you said, it's actually exactly right that this program says we need a different research approach. And we need students, scientists, to learn how to talk to society, because you rightly said society has the voting right and the power of voting, but they need knowledge. So there need to be this dialogue between the scientific community and society, and so far it was easy for scientists to be in the scientific arena, talk to scientists. The success was measured by publications and indicators, but never how do they communicate. So my question is then, if we talk about all this, wouldn't we need a different approach in research? And I think, Marina, it's your field. You're trying to teach this and to make sure that this dialogue happens.
Yeah, thank you. I'll try to elaborate something useful for all audience. Yes, we as me as now representative of academia, we had in mind that we need to prepare different people for research. And it started back in, like Theo today mentioned, back in 2011, when we, from one side, we were obliged to redesign all the doctoral studies that we had at all universities in Georgia, and of course also in Agricultural University. And the obligation is, and you know that before Bologna process, the doctoral education was not structured at all. There was no structure, literally to say, because there was education one-to-one supervisor to researcher or seeker of scientific degree. So then came this Bologna process, and people who wanted to be scientists, they should to go through studentships. So they became students. This is a completely new role for them. So they, we had to create some structures that create an infrastructure or structure that could accumulate students and provide to them some education which brings them to some doctoral degree, for instance. So the task that we've got from CAHA at the time, that let's create something new, something very different, where people from different areas could live together, could study together from each other, and we need such a structure. We never had in Georgia such structures, and we looked through all over the world and found that there is a structure like doctoral school. So the doctoral school is a school that provides educational programs, and students enroll in educational programs, so they become real students. By the way, I'm also a student, doctoral student. we had to practically redesign all the program because the requirement of, again, the law was that the programs should be structured. That means that they had to have this teaching component and research component. But how to do, nobody knew it because there was no example in Georgia for this. So we started by ourselves, we worked hard. We just created all these structures and enrolled students. We have quite a number of students, quite a good structure for realizing this idea. But we feel, and we still feel, that there is something else out of there that we can take, because one is a structure and the other is the tools, how to do this in reality. And then was this wonderful, great idea that came from Dr. Plogger and Dr. Vogtman to create the program that would be structured, a doctoral program with within a specific topic, which is for sure a very important topic. And we just catch up with this idea because this was a possibility to create really modern educational doctoral program that will breed new type of researchers that are not sitting in, like you say, always ivory tower and communicating only to their supervisor, but they communicate with each other. That is one that, I strongly believe that new ideas nowadays appear on the frontiers of different fields and not within one field. So that means that if there is a structure when people from different fields can meet in whatever activity is, lectures, classes, seminars, clusters, or whatever, they see what they are doing in their field, and you just can see interesting ideas from other fields and bring to your field. Like, for instance, methods of research in biology could be very helpful for researchers in computer sciences that create artificial intelligence systems. So that means that you never know how the knowledge from one field can be helpful in another field. But you have to have a system for that, where you meet those people, you have to talk to them, you have to talk to them about your problems. So that is that we saw that this program would be a great opportunity for us to refine maybe, the system was already there, the doctoral school, but refine and do it much better. And then we discovered all this structure that we saw in Kassel University, and we are just eager to implement it here. And this is, as far as I know, this is this week we are doing exactly that. But this is still within a normal view of approach to education. Normal, that means disciplinary, again, studying courses, discussing issues in the seminars, then doing the research. But there is one part that we should not miss. The knowledge is not always in classrooms. The knowledge, somebody is somewhere within the people who work in the fields. So you have to go to them. You have to see what they are doing really, and you learn them. You see, and there are problems there, and then you realize what you are doing here in classes or laboratories, whether you are on the track or not. And the other thing is, like you mentioned, communication. Yes, communication is very important, but in what way? How our doctoral student will acquire those skills that they are needing or need there in communicating their ideas or realizing their ideas in practice. I think that here is also partly, of course, again, the disciplinary approach, because we have to teach some entrepreneurial skills or project management skills, which would be absolutely necessary for doctoral students to take their idea into the society and implement and realize them then. So that is shortly, maybe, or not shortly.
I would just like to ask then Professor Bacchus, as a partner from the other university, how he would see this kind of structure and this program in view of his background, what is happening at the University of Kassel. Is this a step forward? Is it just copying what Kassel does, or do you think there is even something Kassel could learn from this?
I'm pretty sure. I think that Kassel could also learn from this program, but as our PhD students are not as structured as these PhD students are in this program. So in that way, we are also looking at the progress done there. Personally, I think I came also to different countries through my career, and I've seen more structured PhD systems than there are in Germany. In Germany, it's mostly that you have to do your projects, but besides, you can do, if you're interested in, you can do some courses, but you don't have to. So this is not very structured. And I think also the way it is done in this project is very nice, because when you want to bring the people together, it doesn't help to say them just sit together and talk. It's always better if you give them a problem, if you give them a question to work on, and then by working on this question, by talking with each other about the different steps of solution they would take, they learn to know each other, and they learn to see what the other ones can contribute. And by this way, I think it is a good way just to strengthen the cooperation between the different strains.
One of the points is, and a big difference is that the PhD students here are all working. So they experience the real life problems. They're in the middle of the real life problems and do their studies, whereas in Germany, if I'm right, the students have an easier life. They usually don't have to work for their livelihood, so they can go into the project. And they have sometimes a hard time to understand the real life problems afterwards. So, Professor Bacchus, would you suggest that in Germany we should introduce something like this, that PhD students should always be involved in real life problems during their study?
I cannot speak for all universities. I only can speak for our faculties. And seeing that, looking at our faculty, I would say that there is plenty of connection to praxis also for our students, because they are really interested in what is going on in practical agriculture. So they just come to us and say, we want to have this connection to practical agriculture. We want to have input from the practical side into the teaching. So they are just challenging us in this point. So by that way, I don't think there's a big need for that.
And Miriam, you as a farmer, would you see the opportunity now for Elkana and other organizations to go to this university? Hey, listen, this is our problem, and we would like to be involved in the agenda setting. We as farmers would like to be involved in the agenda setting. We as companies would like to be involved in the agenda setting. We would also like to be involved in determining what kind of instruments you are using, and also, most importantly, we would like to be part of the results. We would like to know what that result means for us. We as farmers, or even other groups, society, want to involve from now on in the agenda setting, in the instruments, and also be part and be aware of the results. How would you see that, Miriam?
Even more so, we as the farmers want to be part of the research. So we want to have participatory research, more close coming to farmers. It was told by now that knowledge is not in classrooms and laboratories. So we need to bring researchers close to farmers and make farmer-based researches. I very much hope that this arrogant attitude of science, which was in Soviet time, will be broken with this new structural doctoral program, when our students will have possibility to learn more also in Germany with Kassel University and bring this knowledge to farmers. And we are ready to cooperate. Since long time, we already cooperate with Agricultural University. It was conferences or also the project on waste management, and specifically with that, with research and practical side of the work, we are ready to cooperate. Even our farmers, I talked a few minutes ago about the gathering of farmers. They were asking, please, students, scientists, come to our field. Let us make joint research. And this is the main issue farmers would like to see, because they want to use the results of science in their practical work. And I would like to add also about the communication. Science should not be only at the scientific level, but their findings should be translated in a language that consumers can easily understand, because our everyday food choices will determine future of the planet, and consumers should know what we eat. We are what we eat, it was told today, and exactly, it was talked about that in 2050 we will need 50% of more food, but what this more food mean? It's not, I'm sure that it's not higher harvest. We should look into the nutritional value of the food we have, because at present bread that we eat, it lacks those nutritional qualities that have old ancient grains, and we have to think about that. More research is needed in that direction. So, thank you.
Yes, just one word to the 50% more we need. Maybe we should not throw 30% away. That's another problem which we have to deal with. But for all of this, we also need a political frame. And my experience walking the borderline between science and research for many, many, many years as president of different agencies is that politicians react to voters on one side. I mean, when I had the opportunity twice a year to meet Mrs. Merkel, before I came in the morning was a big chemical company threatening her with 25,000 jobs. And then I came along, and the only thing I could threaten her with 6.5 million members, and that was 6.5 million votes for the next election. So if we make now society knowledgeable and bring them in a situation that they can make decisions and that they can really express what they want through voting, how would the political arena react? Would they rather not have students coming from here and making people aware and using the dialogue with society so they can wheeling and dealing like before? Or would politics be prepared to say, yes, that's what we want. We want a society very much aware of the problems, knowledgeable, and then they can make the right decisions. And I would like to ask the representative of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs from the German Embassy what he would see what politicians could do or not do.
Well, what politicians already have done, maybe. Germany is a country which is well recognized in the international arena for being progressive, for being cooperative, and for being creative as well. And our diplomacy has managed to bring particularly these topics which we are currently discussing on the agenda, on the level of the United Nations, where all nations come together around one table and discuss the pressing problems our planet faces, on the level of the European Union, of course. We have helped to establish the EU sustainability strategy, which has been accepted by the European Council in 2001 and has been upgraded in 2006. And coming from the global approach to a more local approach, the German government, as well, is very active in development cooperation, in particular with the Southern Caucasus region. And here, of course, in Georgia, we have many projects which have the basic aim of improving the livelihood of the local populace. What we are doing is helping the country, helping the government, and helping the people of attaining a better future. A better present, of course, for themselves, but as well for their offspring. And that's what sustainability is about. To have in mind what has to be done on a social, on an economic, and on an ecological level, so that coming generations will live as well, not worse, than we currently do. And what German Development Cooperation does, we are active in the sectors of biodiversity and environmental protection, of the upgrading of the judicial and the government system, and of course in the development of the private sector, one part of which, of course, is agriculture. We are not in particular dealing with agriculture, although there is one project which has been financed by the KfW Bank, which is they have established or financed the establishment of a wine laboratory, which enables Georgian wine producers to have their wines certified so that they can be exported, for example, to the European Union.
Yes, thank you very much. The initiatives we have at the moment coming from political sides in this area is research on one side, because society in Germany, we're talking about a change in agricultural policy, a change in energy policy, but now we have a big movement, change in research policy. Have a different, but coming again from grassroots organization and saying we also need to set up programs differently, because you can at the moment, with the frame given of some research programs, not apply because you don't fit into the programs they have set, thinking a disciplinary approach, thinking in a different way, and suddenly with your program you don't fit. Same happened when we started organic agriculture years ago. That didn't fit. So now that means we have to change those. That means we have to change an approach to research and to judge success of research. And this is also when foundation bodies come in. And that's why I would like to ask you, Natalia, what was your motivation then to say, hey, this is an idea we would like to support?
Okay, thank you. Thank you. First of all, this is with great honor that I address you today on behalf of the Shota Rustaveli National Science Foundation of Georgia. And I would like to mention that the foundation does not participate into an evaluation process. So actually the evaluation process and the administration process of the grant, of the joint grant call, has been done mainly by the Volkswagen Stiftung. But I would like to mention that the most important mission of the foundation is to facilitate and to expand the international partnership and to support young researchers in their academic careers. And it is also our privilege to facilitate the improvement and development of graduate schools. So that's why we believe that actually we believe that we funded within the frame of this call, we funded the 4 best bilateral structured doctoral programs. And I would like to highlight that we fund only excellent science. However, to produce the excellent science, it is the responsibility of the research institutions and the higher educational institutions. And that's why we believe that the SAFS program will contribute into producing excellent science through the exchange of the international experience and through engagement of more and more young researchers into the program.
This means we have a very fruitful collaboration between the Volkswagen Foundation and Rustavelli Foundation.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, when the program is over and it's very successful, I think we should have both foundations here in Georgia, because they can be proud then that they have supported such a successful new approach. And I think in the South Caucasus they might be ahead of all the other universities, certainly. And as you heard, maybe even ahead of some German universities with regard to this program. And finally, I think I'm going to ask now an FAO representative. If you would have to choose young scientists for your FAO programs, would you see an advantage if a student would come and say, hey, I've been part of this kind of a program, compared to somebody who said, yo, I did 5-year study in this area, I'm very deep, I've published 5 papers, very much recognized in science, but maybe not in society and maybe not in real life. What would be your reaction to that?
Okay, it's a rhetorical question, so the answer is there. This is for FAO. The other scientist is also needed, that's for sure, and there is also a CGIAR research system that can use scientists with depth and not with enough breadth. When I was talking about what FAO sees in the future of sustainable food and agriculture, I was referring to the need for interdisciplinarity, multi-sectoral approaches, etc. So I guess I was, in a way, describing the program. So I'm happy to have done this. But even for a scientist who is specializing in one particular aspect in depth, it's still important to be aware of the interdisciplinary interconnections, because you may think that I'm going deep, I'm not going wide or broad, but still this depth will have implications, impacts, interactions with other sectors, with something else. If you are a water scientist, you should know your impacts on the quality of soils. So still you need an interdisciplinary understanding, even if you are not pursuing an interdisciplinary study. But I guess FAO would appreciate the results of this program, and many of you would be very good candidates for various needs that FAO would have. And then maybe we can also discuss the potentiality for internships and similar hands-on applications as a part of, either as a part or complementary to this program.
So there is already an offer for the students. And I think the main point is these programs, these apprenticeship programs. Because from my experience, and I think many of you experience it, if you had students in an apprentice program, it sometimes, or very often if they were good, happened they said, hey, when you're finished with your degree, knock on our door, we would like to have you. And this is, I think, a very big opportunity for students if they are in such programs. And you were just nodding your head, you said, would you then, from your university, organize such for the students, or do they have to do it themselves, or how would that happen, that they could go into those programs?
We would also organize it, of course. I have in my background about 10 years of managing Georgian-German project that was financed by the German government, organizing the kind of Georgian Berufs Academy here in Georgia. And this was essentially a program based on the apprenticeship model that you have in Germany, which is I am absolutely sure that it is an exciting model, because you get at the end of such a program the professional who is educated, prepared, known already to the society and accepted immediately. So that means that they already know what they should know.
And my colleague Gunter Backes, he has probably experienced the way that he mentioned it, that the students in Witzenhausen are always involved in these kinds of apprentices. Is that an obligation in your research program, that they have to do something like this, to go into apprentice programs, or do they have to do it before university? How is this interrelated? Because when I came years ago to university, they all had to work 1 year on a farm and before they wouldn't even allowed to be coming to the university. Then it was degraded down to, I think, 12 weeks or something, which I always found difficult. If you want to advise farmers afterwards and have only been working 12 weeks on a farm, seems to be a bit ridiculous. But I think you have a program where this integration is already involved, isn't it?
Yes. We had this. We had naturally. You have still this practical, but it is, as you said, it is reduced. Myself, I also did already still 1 year, but now they can reduce it to much larger things. But also within the studies, not of our students, there are some points of integration. For example, we have a module where there are farms which want to switch from conventional to organic farming, and then there are groups of students which just look at this fact and then what can these farms do in order to convert. And then there's one of the teachers which is guiding them, or several teachers, because they need to tier from several expertises. So they just go to several expertises and ask for these expertises. So what is your advice? And then they put together a holistic and practical approach for this specific farm. And they're always, and there are lots of our students going through these through these modules. And this is also a way, when you don't have so much apprentices, how you can involve them into practical students. And these students, they will have a deep understanding how to use their knowledge in practical situations.
So this starts already then in the master program, I guess. I remember my time when I introduced that, when I came to University of Kassel, my colleagues didn't want to join. But now, hopefully, from what you said, is everybody is involved, and that is great, because I think with the change of the name of the faculty to Organic Agricultural Sciences, everybody was aware, all professors, yes, we have to participate. Before, when I came, it said, we don't need organic farming, actually. What is all this about? And now we have a faculty really involved. So it starts already in the master program to develop these skills, which I think is very important, not only in a PhD program, but long before. And asking Miriam now, from your point of view, wouldn't it be great to have now the students and PhD students really working with farmers, being involved and learning about their problems and helping farmers to gain the knowledge, as you went, to solve their problems themselves, because an advisor cannot solve a problem for a farmer. The farmer has to solve the problem.
Exactly. This is very good example. And a few years ago, Theo and me have developed similar type of project, even how to bring students, because at present in the agrarian university, students do not have proper practice in field, and that was worry of Theo as well. And we were developed a project on how to bring students to farms, how to finance their maybe small transportation costs and others that there is a need to be covered, but the universities at present unfortunately do not have these funds allocated for students to make practical work on farms, and there is a real need from farmer sides to have people coming, maybe inspecting the farms, making some calculations on business development projects, or how consult them how to convert into organic. And unfortunately, this project was not financed. We approached, as I remember, French embassy. They had some small grants about that, but it didn't work. But this idea still is alive, and I'm very happy now to hear about that, because external knowledge to farming communities is very important. Thank you.
You mentioned the French embassy, and I remember when I was touring the world as president of the federal agency, I met a lot of ambassadors, and they said, yeah, we have a small fund, we can do a lot of different projects. My question is to the German embassy, don't you have something where you could help?
Yes, we actually have. We have a small-scale project fund, which is really quite modest, but is as well available for agricultural projects. The main aim of this fund is actually to improve the livelihood of socially vulnerable parts of the population. And I think given the current economic situation in Georgia, people engaged in farming could easily qualify for belonging to this group. So if we get some project application, as we recently as well have from a farming community, we of course favorably judge these applications and try to find a way to finance it.
Well, thank you. That's another very important aspect. I mean, this day is a successful day for the project. And asking now, Natalia, at the end, you said you only support excellency. We talk now about practical approach and practical and working with farmers and society. Is that enough excellence for you, or do you say, oh no, well, this is below what we want to support?
Well, actually, we had really strict requirements. So the one who actually passes who meets the requirements, it means that it is already excellent. Well, actually, there is one more thing. So the SNFSG does not prioritize any specific scientific field within the frame of its grant calls. It means that all the scientific fields have the equal relevance for us. However, we have some specific targeted grant calls. For instance, this year we announced Haliamorpha hellis, an elimination state program. Haliamorpha hellis is the Latin name for the stink bug, for the marmorated stink bug, and the grant call was oriented. It aimed at agricultural issues. So I mean that. So we do not prioritize fields. However, we do make exceptions when the issue is relevant for the country. Yes.
And that certainly is for Georgia.
Yes, it is.
I'm sure it is, absolutely.
It is, of course.
And from that point of view, I think we really will be looking forward to this program, to the yearly meetings, to the meetings between, the communication, and I think it offers to this university afterwards to start an alumni group. So the students leaving here, they should be still connected to this university among themselves. And if you take North America as an example, some of the alumni give something back to the universities. Once they are successful in their business life, they might say, oh, well, that was a good time at this university. I would like to give something back to that university. So that would offer another opportunity to strengthen here what you are doing in your research. Well, at the end, I would like everybody briefly in 2 or 3 sentences to express her or his wish or give an expression of why she or he thinks this could be a very successful, very first step for agricultural education and practical agriculture and society as a whole, and rural and regional development for Georgia. Just very briefly, I start at the end and then going this way.
Just to reiterate something I said about the development cooperation of Germany, one of the aspects is as well TVET education. That means practical education of persons, preparation for their professional life. At the moment, still we observe that university education is enjoying great priority in Georgia, which in itself, of course, is not a bad thing, but it leads to a lack of practically trained professionals, and these are persons who the labor market in Georgia currently still is lacking very much. So I say that because one of the participants as well said it would be very important to make the connection between academic research and work and the training of professionals who will have practical experience in their fields. That is a thing which is really needed in a part of the Georgian economy which still suffers from the lack of skills of the people who are engaged there. And of course I think that this project, which has a very good foundation of a partnership of a very experienced German institution and a very progressive Georgian institution, I think it will really yield results. I think the people engaged in it are very motivated, very qualified, and I'm very positive about what we are going to observe in the following years.
Thank you, Miriam.
Thank you. I will again speak from the farmers' perspective. On the last meeting of the organic farmers, one of the main issues underlined was lack of professionals in the field. When they talk about professionals, they are talking about people that can use modern methodology working with farmers. And I very much hope that this cooperation with Kassel University, new type of cooperation, will be helping in establishing a bigger group of professionals in organic farming, in sustainable development of agricultural and food systems. And that's why I think that motivation and experience, motivations from Georgian side and experience from German side will bring very high and good results to both countries. Thank you.
Thank you. Natalia?
Actually, I will speak from the point of view of the foundation, as my professional background doesn't allow me to speak in the field of agricultural issues. We believe that the SAFS program will contribute into the development of sustainable agriculture and food systems, and we also believe that this program will contribute into putting Georgia on the global scientific map. And we actually wish you all the best in your work.
Thank you. Gunther?
Okay. Okay, now it's there. Okay, understandable? Well, organic agriculture is no old-fashioned system. It is not going the way back to do things of the so-called good old days. It's a very, very modern system. You need to understand the systems you're working in, and you need to understand it in a holistic way. It means it's really deeply knowledge-based, it's science-based. That's the reason why programs like these ones are important, because they really challenge, they're really bringing forward the knowledge that is necessary for this kind of agriculture. And it is also modern because it is necessary to use it because it is tuned to the use of the system for the students. By knowing what is going on in the system, you can use the resources in a much more intelligent way. So it's a much more intelligent way of using agriculture. In that way, you need better, as already mentioned before, you need a high education of the people working there at all levels. And that's, I think this program is contributing to that, and therefore I'm thankful.
Thank you very much. Olcem, what is your view?
Yes, I'll give two views. Now that I don't have my FAO colleague here, so I can use his spot, I'll give you my personal, professional view and an institutional view. The professional, personal view is about water. And I will build on what Anastasia said earlier today, we are what we eat. And building on that, we are thirsty today because we are hungry. Because water is used and misused and wasted at all levels of the food system, the value chain, from production to actual consumption. And it's not only the water that we eat, that we drink, but it's the water that we eat that is very vulnerable to misuse, since we lose 1/3 of all food production on a global scale, and on top of that, we lose additional amounts of, important amounts of water to obesity. Okay, that's my personal contribution. The institutional one is that this program is very much suited to FAO's strategy, which is sustainable agriculture and food systems. And it's very well designed, so the components are there. What I would like to stress is the social/economic aspect, which comes to farmers and vulnerable groups. Farmers relate to the economic aspect because farmers are the most grassroots members of the private sector. So that's private sector. But farmers are also very vulnerable to shocks, from price shocks to climatic and hydrological shocks. So we would very much like to encourage you to put stakeholders in general, but farmers, especially smallholder farmers, in the center of your thinking when you are pursuing your research.
Thank you very much. And last but not least, as representative of this institution, Marina.
I'm absolutely sure that this program would be successful because of highly professionals that are involved in the project. My expectation, not the personal one, but in this case institutional one, is that the program of sustainable agriculture and food system would be sustainable as a model itself, because we would like to transfer this model of organizing a doctoral program to other fields in the same way like it will be in this program. So that's why I hope that we'll learn from this project not only how to be successful, but how to run such programs and transfer this model to other fields of knowledge.
Well, at the end of this panel, I don't have to summarize because it was just summarized nicely by the last speakers, but it seems that you are on the right track, doing the right thing at the right time and having the right people to carry it through. So I would like to thank this panel very much for the contributions and you for listening. And Thomas Scholl actually gave already an incentive for a different program, because when I was president of the German State Agency for Nature Conservation, for Agricultural Research and Development, we introduced the dual educational system in agriculture in Tunisia. And maybe you think at the practical level about such a program, it was very successful. The dual educational program in agriculture could be a next topic ahead of us. Thank you all very much.
To thank you also the members of the discussion round, and we do not have this very nice person we Hardy presented. but we have a special medal for you. And to link it to our university, I would like to tell you a short, very short story. So here you can see that this university has a name. It's named by Kasia. And we at Kassel University have also been thinking to have a name for our university, and there a discussion started. So up to now we do not have a name for our university because the board deciding about that, they couldn't decide. The story behind that is the following. Probably you think that Kassel hasn't had any scientific person living there and being beneficial to give their name to the university, but this is not true. Of course we have had even two very nice and famous scientists living in Kassel and also working at Kassel University. And later on they were elected as professors at Göttingen University because they were so famous. And from there they was unfortunately kicked out because they supported the reform movement in Germany, so they belonged to the Göttinger 7, a very progressive scientific group. And from there they went to Berlin, and from Berlin they went, because they have been elected to the first German government, to Frankfurt. So this was in the 18-something, so on 1808 they were starting their job at Kassel. And they have been very famous, not for the scientific background, but because they published the first fairy tales in Germany. So it was Jacob and William Grimm, well known worldwide as the Brothers Grimm. But of course they have studied, and they were later on professors for the German language. They published the German fairy tales in 1812 and 1815. And if you are looking now, they have published 200 stories, 200 fairy tales. And so they are translated in so many languages, and even now films are made with their stories behind. But famous in science they were because they started to publish the German dictionary. Unfortunately, they died before they finished it, so they just stopped at F, like freedom or fruit. Fruit was the last word they put into their dictionary. And now the question for our board at the university was if we should use Brother Grimm as the name of our university. And you know why we don't take it? Because some of my colleagues said, we are not talking fairy tales. We are having real science at our university. But of course, if you look into the fairy tales, there's always a kernel of truth, or a kernel of ethics, or a kernel of moral in it. So, and science has also the opportunity to be translated into stories to consumers. So that was the decision of the board, of the directors from our university. But here I have now as a present a silver medal, and inside the silver medal it is printed a picture of one of the fairy tales of Brother Grimm. So this is the linkage between the present and the University of Kassel. We don't have Brother Grimm University. So, thank you. Thank you very much for your attendance. The same to you, Miriam.
Thank you.
Also, you are getting one. Thank you. Thank you. This is for you, and because we didn't name them up to now, but it was NASA and also Georgi doing a great job putting together all the applications for this. So thank you once more for you, Georgi.
It's a good one.
And also we have two gifts for also these two people, Professor Dr. Pluge and Professor Dr. Fogma, and giving this enormous support for this program, and without both of them there's no SAFS program, so thank you for professors.
Now we go.
Okay, now you go. Now we have students talk, and we will invite, please, Ketevan and Rami.
Thank you, Theo, for introduction. My name is Kate Khakhouyashvili, and I'm very happy to represent myself as a part of the Agrarian University big family. First, I will tell you a little bit about my background. I finished my bachelor's degree in Tbilisi State University, first university in Georgia, in food bioscience and biotechnology. But mostly in the beginning, I was only concentrating on food safety and food technologies issue. Then I became part of the USA DRIP program, and there I understand the importance of agriculture and importance of primary production in the food chain. So I decided to join the Agrarian University for my master program. In the Agrarian University, I get lots of knowledge. This university helped me to understand the importance of sustainability, and then with help of this university, they pushed me to be part of this PhD program, and this PhD program is very important for my future development. It gives me lots of opportunity to get a quality education and to be part of the global partnership. So, Rami, what can you tell about you?
Thank you, Kate. My name is Rami Al-Sidawi. I am Syrian as well as German. I pursued my bachelor degree in the University of Damascus in Syria, and with my family background, particularly my parents, both of them are working as professor in Syria, they pushed me to go in scientific path. And at that time, my brother was doing his PhD in Germany, in Freiburg, and he was encouraged me to continue my master in Germany. Thought I have a small business in Syria started at that time. Later on, with the acceptance of the German university for my master study, I came to Germany around 2012, and I started my master, and in 2016, I got my master degree at the University of Kassel-Witzenhausen in organic agriculture. And this was my turning point of my life, actually. I could get the supervision for my master thesis from Professor Dr. Angelika Pluge, and also I was lucky that I get Professor Dr. Theo Reshatze from the University of Georgia, and also she helped me a lot for doing my research here, and now also she helped me for my PhD for doing my research and collecting samples about my topic, what I'm working about. During my student life in Witzenhausen, I could connect with the world under a patronage of Professor Angelika Pluge. I was in European Parliament as a student representative, and also I was engaged in the United Nations Graduate School in Geneva in Switzerland, and I got a postgraduate diploma. After doing my master thesis, Professor Pluge was encouraging me all the time to further advancing in the field of science, and I got the chance, and I'm so lucky that to be a PhD student under the framework of SAFS. This gave me a lot of experience of teamwork. Also, after that, I could go to Singapore, and I was attending the Unleash Global Innovation Lab, and we were like 1,000 participants from all the world, and we was divided to more than 200 teams, and our team was won one of the 8 Golden Award Prize for the best project, also at that time. It was 2018. So, Kate, what is your expectation about SAFS?
So my expectations from this program is to get a multidisciplinary education, to acquire international experience, to share the knowledge and establish a good networking, which we are already doing together. Also, my goal will be to make a comprehensive research and to elaborate innovation solutions toward Georgian sustainable development. So what about your expectations?
Actually, SAFS is the golden opportunity to me working with an international team of fellows, experts, professors. With all this knowledge transfer, started from Syria to Germany and the other countries, and now from Germany to Georgia, I'm looking forward to engage in this advanced research study in Georgia to deepen the knowledge about sustainable agriculture and food systems. We are working last couple of days in a team, and we know each other already. We are in the same cluster, and as I see it's as the main of this project, it's win-win situation. My expectation of SAFS program is to work in a multidisciplinary group to find initiative solutions toward food and nutritional security in Georgia that surely are part of sustainable development goals. This international experience, I can be part of the bridge between Germany and Georgia and bring the knowledge what I will gain here to Germany and later hopefully to Syria and maybe to other generations.
I'm looking forward to our best teamwork. So for me, it's a great honor and great responsibility to be part of the first structural doctoral program in Georgian. And thank you all, and good luck to me and my peers.
Thank you also, Kate, but I just want to say last word. Hope is what is keeping us alive. So I want first to thank you for everything, and I want to shake hands and put our hands together for the best future for you, for me, and for the whole human race, and also for the sharing experience and transferring knowledge for that. And I wish that we can be a part for that bridge, what we are building now, and for ourselves, for our countries, and hopefully for the next generation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I think they catch the real idea of this project.
Thank you. And now I will invite Cecilia. Please tell us briefly about our future steps.
Thank you very much, Professor Theo Shalatse. So my responsibility is to run the program, how to tell about the sustainability of the program. So we're talking about sustainable food systems and agriculture systems, but what is the sustainability of the SAF? So that's also we have to think about that, because this is the program which will be the next 3.5 years, and you see that it is starting from somewhere, and then it has to go after the 4th year. End of the funding 2022, and how we go forward the funding period. So we have to think about that, this future of sustainability. So in our project proposal, in our project agenda, we have this beautiful, colorful, this flower. So combining a different perspective to engage the sustainability of the project. So I will not go in detail. So afterward you will see that, we already started we launched our website, and also we will have our Moodle platform and support of the international, our University of Kassel IT Center. And also we will have a further application process, and I will go for that to explain here. So actually, we talk about the last couple of days with our SAF cohort, so you also, one side, writing your PhD thesis or research papers, but also you will be a part of application for the another funding process. So we will be trying to apply for major or minor funding sources to support for the future generation. Also, we need to find some funding agents, funds for your research studies. So importantly, we need a networking. The SAFS is not only you are working inside the Georgia, you will be a part of the two countries, Georgia to Germany, but also you will meet other South Caucasian partners and also other European or other international partners. In that you will make a network with academics and also young colleagues back in Germany. For example, you will have opportunity to take part some of courses, as Professor Pluger mentioned, ICDD and GRADS and CSR. So many institutions, you will have opportunity to make more connection. As Dr. Unva mentioned, also internship program. So this is another networking process. So get to know the people. This is social capital. And so one of the main aim of that, our outcome would be making a SAFS alumni. So that giving a hand for the future generation. After finishing these 10 people, how we fund another group. So this is most important. And looking at further funding opportunities. And also when you become, as you are working on already in a industry or in the academia, so you will give support, for example, selecting a jobs or for the advancing of the career. So this is the most important of the alumni. So other thing is that best practices and organizational mechanism. So end of this project, as a structural PhD program, we delivered to Georgia different format, cluster meetings, brown bag seminars, joint workshops. Those institutional mechanisms will be one of the results for your country and also education system in Georgia. Even other universities can use these concepts, organizational systems to develop their studies program. So that is also another point of our program, sustainability. And also best practices. For example, learning from each other. University of Kassel learning from you and you learning from University of Kassel and also other universities. So this is also important part of the sustainability of the project. So thanks for that. But I will shortly, on behalf of Professor Pluger, I will show you the first slide of our website. And we already, so you will see that the website already online. And so 2 partners, we are already here, and funding agencies, and also our collaborative partners from both countries. And we are also in one of the aim, Sustainable Development Goal, SDGs. So we have, as we mentioned that, so you could go through the website and to looking at different sources. We will upload the publications, resources, and also teaching materials and research. And I would like to shortly present the staff members and the directors. So you will see that Professor Dr. Angela Pluger and Professor Dr. Theo Shedatse from both universities. And also we have Prestige Advisory Board from the national and international orientation. As you know, Professor Dr. Hartmut Vogtmann, Dr. Olja Unver, Dr. Engin Konkagul, and Dr. Alexander Müller, and also Mrs. Nino Samkadiste. I'm sorry. Oh, perfect. Thank you very much. So I think we have a fruitful advisory board to get the all support advisory from all these senior gentlemen. Okay, thank you very much. So I will hand over to Professor Theo Shedatse. Thank you.
Thank you, Cecilia. And now I will tell you, so everybody, thank you for coming, for your nice participation. And now we are slowly going to the Culinary Academy to have our lunch. So it's the next part.